Hello, it is Todd. It's kind of late right now. It's almost 11 o'clock. Anyway, I made a podcast and I'm having trouble uploading it to YouTube. I put a link I'll put a link under community, and I just wanted to tell you that if you want to listen to the podcast, it's called Origins Unknown. And my podcast name is The Psychic Zone. You can also go to my website at toddsiegelpsychic.com and you can listen to it there under blogs. So if you go to my website, it's under blogs. It might not be up yet because it takes about 24 hours for it to go on the major carriers. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on I think iHeart, Spotify, those carriers as well. Um, Probably going to get a lot of crap for it because I mean some of it's controversial material, but it's just stuff that I hear in readings every single day. And hey, there's people awake. What are you guys doing awake? You shouldn't be awake right now. Go back to bed. Go to bed. Um. Anyway, I'm sitting here. My dog is looking at me. I think she wants to go out. She's like, hold on, I thought you were going to take me outside. And anyway, I'll wait till she comes to the door and then maybe she'll want to go out. So, anyway, yeah, I talked about in this podcast, I talked about the virus, the pandemic. Big no. I shouldn't talk about that. I've heard so many sad cases, I got to tell you. So I'm giving you a preview of what I talked about. And there have been so many deaths. And, I predicted back in 2020, and I said, actually, no, it was about 2021 that I talked about the outcome of this. And I saw a third of the population. I'm talking about the US expiring, going, and pretty scary stuff. But I'm seeing it before my eyes. I talk about in appointments every single day. And I do talk about the Moscow, Idaho case just a little bit, just a little bit. Um, and so here's the thing. I guess they're waiting for the trial of the perpetrator, who I still don't think he's the perpetrator or the main one, because I saw other people in that house at the time. I think there's going to be a big turnaround. I'd be surprised if he's convicted. In fact, I think this trial could go on for 2 years. That's a long time, 2 years. I read internally that I think that we're going to find out through some testimonies that this is not exactly the suspect that they thought, even though things point to him. One thing that I did say in the podcast was I felt that the murder weapon was a little bit different than the one he was supposed to have. That is one thing. The markings are different, which leads into other people. I also get something, I haven't said it before, but I get something about a hair fiber or something that was found that was not his, not theirs, somebody else's. It's very possible. So there's a lot about that case that's going to be transpiring, and could have like a 90-degree turnaround is kind of what I see in that. But, in a lot of this sort of psychic prediction, you also have what the media presents and what they want and what the officials want. They want closure, but unfortunately, uh, they've been avoiding really. But I shouldn't say that. Maybe they aren't avoiding it, but maybe they haven't presented that there's some other angles on this and some other people involved. So anyway, sometimes you just have to say what needs to be said, talk about the way the society's going to, and all the crap that they're putting out there, and all this stuff with delusions uh, that are happening out there. And we have a new month for everything. I'm waiting for the month of dark-haired psychics with big noses month. I haven't quite come up with that one yet. Anyway, I do talk a lot about the virus, or the illness, I should say. I had to kind of conceal words on this, but I've talked to doctors, talked to nurses, I've talked to scientists, biologists, people in the pharmaceutical companies. Nobody wants to talk about what we went through for the 2-year duration there, and even 3 years. And I don't think we should pass this by. I also was very serious in the podcast about I could name people, actual living people, who I feel have some responsibility in the unleashing of the illness. Oh, I do. They probably show up at the door tomorrow if I gave some names. So it's one of those things that I just can't. There was so much devastation associated with it, and is still going on. The amount of casualties I get every single week. I talk to a different client who's lost somebody or a loved one. It's almost daily, depending um, how many readings I get. Um, okay, so Pamela's on my side. She says, I believe in your energy. Okay. I wonder if she believes if I'll actually clean up this kitchen before morning. She's probably shaking her head. No, don't. What's the name of the podcast? It's called Unknown Origins. The podcast name is The Psychic Zone, like Twilight Zone, but Psychic Zone. Excuse me a second here. I got a chocolate chip that dropped on the ground. I don't want my dog to get it. I watch things like that. And it is earlier in Phoenix. Thank you, Dora. No, it's not really an exciting podcast. I just haven't done one in a while. I've been busy, and at the end of the day, I'm go up to my little sound studio up there, and I'm like, no, I don't think I can do it tonight. But I've just been hearing from people that are like, when's your podcast going to come? When are you going to go live? When are you going to do more videos? And I'll tell you something, I am looking for somebody who knows about tech stuff, might be able to handle website stuff. Like I couldn't figure out quite how to. So I did this on QuickTime Player on the audio setting on my computer, recorded, uploaded it to my podcast carrier, but I cannot get the damn thing on YouTube. I had to share a link. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It said it was not the format. And if anybody has any ideas, please let me know. Now, I was able to upload other podcasts on the YouTube, but those were done through Skype because I was speaking with somebody else and we did the recording through Skype. But when I do it through, my Mac, I don't know. It's got to be a different format. So maybe somebody has better knowledge. Pamela says, I don't think it matters about your kitchen. Okay. You found it on Apple Podcast. Yeah. So it's on Apple. Um, they'll probably, the Apple analysts will be on there. Oh, I think he's talking about the pandemic. Uh-oh, we better get our filters on this one. No, I was very, very careful on that. It's like there's no freedom of speech anymore, It's crazy. It really is crazy. Um, Pamela can't get it out of her mind. Apple converts to an MP4 or AAC. You need to convert it to MP3 with the program, I believe. Thank you, JJ. um, right before I got this. So, Ash, you lost your dog recently on February 27th. Oh, very, very sorry. I don't know if that was the spirit, if your light started flickering. Um, how many cases am I working on at the moment? Oh, they're just sort of, well, they're smaller ones, couple court cases. I mean, working on, I was working on a, it's off. I thought I was working on a missing person case. I can't even remember. Work on missing pet cases. Just found a dog. Just found a dog this weekend. Case I was working on for 7 days. Dog was missing up in Nebraska, out in the wilds of Nebraska. He was only 3 months old. Doodle kind of dog, Um, and finally targeted an area. I got them to an area. It was also where a sighting was. It described the houses. They employed a trap out there, which was the right idea, baited it, and they got the dog back. Yay. So missing object cases I've worked on. I get confirmations. I get people who send me emails, that kind of thing. Confirmation about jobs, confirmation about, kind of like everything. But oh, Sean's case. Updates. None that I know of. Affected by the storms near Virginia Beach, it was in just large amounts of pouring rain. Clouds are kind of vicious, and but none of what Virginia Beach had. And they say it's abnormal, but not really for this area. Most of the tornadoes come around Richmond area, a little bit Henrico, and a little bit more inland. So yes, and also Suffolk County down to North Carolina. So Virginia Beach is a little bit odd, but not totally odd. Um, we had one actually touch down not far from me in Williamsburg County, in James City County, about a year ago. It was like an F1, and fortunately, it traveled along the train tracks. So it didn't really affect many houses, but if you went down the road, all the trees were down on the main road. Um, I don't like bad weather. In fact, I won't even do readings when the weather's bad. I'll just say I have to cancel. Um, it affects me. So many distractions can affect me, and stream that comes in, but bad weather definitely affects me. And excuse my cuckoo clock. Yep, it's getting late. Um, so let's see, Pamela, you're asking out of your mind how you told about they went to eat hamburgers. Remember when you saw? Oh, you're talking about the Idaho case. Yeah, I think I said that. Um, so the one connection that I'm getting is connected to one of the victims, to one of the roommates, some connection that goes back even, I think, over a year to one of the perpetrators. So there's got to be some, if they want to look in the right place, they need to look at the connections that came through from the past. Elan, Todd, I've lost my mind. Can you help me find it? Yay. No, I cannot help you find your lost mind, except I have helped people find their virginity again. Um, I know that that seems like an impossible thing, but I've had people say that too. Um, people cannot laugh nowadays. Um, yeah, so it's funny. I was looking through, oh God, I don't know. I have a clients list on my scheduling page. I think it's in the thousands right now, and I've got I was just looking at somebody. I found a turtle, found a missing turtle for somebody once. Um, I did have a client who asked me about a missing cockroach. I kid you not. It's one of these pet cockroaches. And hopefully I help them. It's really hard to connect with a cockroach. Um, bugs kind of bug me. And I have gone after, let's see, somebody asked me about a missing rooster one time. And then I've done a lot of missing horse cases too. Found some of them. Down North Carolina was one of them. Found one up in New Jersey. That was one of my early cases. And Jules in Australia is scared of being homeless soon. Will I ever buy a house or land? I don't see a house or land right this second, but I do see an option around October for you. Might be sharing a place with somebody or something like that. Brooke asks, my husband and I are trying to conceive. I definitely say that you watch classic movies. That will help. I'm currently in 2-week waiting period. Can you see if I'm pregnant or when it will happen? I get a possibility, yes, actually. I am actually getting a yes. Early, but yes. Any new leads on the BK case? Back to you, Jules. I know you've had a rough time, but I see things from July onward as better and prospects for housing. I don't know if it's land, but I do see July is a lot better for you. You have a lot of water signs in you, I'm getting. Preston. Issues with the right shoulder blade. Feels like the joint or something's off. I don't know. I forget the technical word for it, but it feels like something's out of joint. I have Deborah. I was wondering if you see me moving to another state. If so, where? I was actually getting Arizona for some reason. Yes, Sheila, rotator cuff. I think so. Feels like, I'm not sure if it's, it doesn't feel torn. It feels a little dislocated or something like that. What is that noise I keep hearing? I wonder if that's my rabbit. Okay. I can't really do a lot of questions because I have to take my dog out, if you don't mind, but I have Mimi and Todd. Do you see a state for me moving? I'm so confused. Mimi, tell me what state you're currently in. Beth wants to know when her divorce goes through. I guess. I get either July or September. Mimi, you live in Idaho. seems kind of far-fetched, but I was getting Florida for some reason. Do you really want to go to Florida? It's getting pretty busy there. I have Hannah, endometriosis. I can't figure it out yet. Well, you definitely want to go to a specialist, but I'm not exactly seeing endometriosis, so you better get it checked out. About 3 long years. Oof. Um, Higher ground. You said you saw my departed dad around me. Any way to connect with them still around? Probably not on the scheduled live video, but get a reading. They connect with me. I don't really connect with them. I mean, I do to a certain level, but they're usually like in the room and they're either, yeah, I guess I'll talk to you, or no, I won't talk to you. Um, oh, I have Tracy, and I'm looking for my mom's watch. Can't find it. Any clues would help me. I see a drawer. I see a dresser. And what's really weird, Tracy Ann, is I see a pair of gloves. It's kind of weird. Um, let's see. I have Jennifer, 37. What do you see around career for me? You just do you just schedule a reading? I'm like looking at this coming through. Um, and if you do a reading and we're talking about your father or something, send me a picture too of him. Jennifer, it all depends what you're doing right now. And Sheila says, similar to my medium experiences, they choose to come in the room nearby. Mostly, yeah. It's now there are some people who, I forget what the word is, but in South America and stuff, who will do these rituals to really get in touch with the spirits. Now, I consider myself more of like a physical medium. So we'll be talking about your love life or whatever you want to talk about. And all of a sudden I get this presence of somebody around you. And it could be somebody you were related to or somebody that you don't know. Most of the time it has to do with somebody that is around you in your home for some odd reason. And I hate to say it, family doesn't always come through to us. Okay, they're kind of like on their own mission, but for some reason there's somebody sort of hanging around you. Um, I get some really weird readings when I'm reading people like in hospice care at the end of their lives and stuff, and they've got this whole fleet of people around them, but unrelated to them. It's like they're greeting them. And one time recently, I was doing a reading for somebody and their father. I said, there's this girl around him. I don't know who the girl was. She was in spirit. And then um, she said, I didn't believe you. I thought it was really strange. So I went to the hospital and I visited my father, and he says, oh, by the way, I talk to this girl every night. She's around me. So she kind of confirmed that one. Let's see. Hi there. Yeah, why is everybody up? It's past your bedtime. Okay. Well, JJ asked if a postal employee stole your package. I think so, actually. Boy, you have a lot of questions. Sheila said she's clairaudient as well. Well, I hear things, I smell things. It's not just because of the size of my nose, but it sometimes comes into play when I'm dealing with like a new house, or if there's like some kind of pond in the background, in the backyard that's got a bad smell. Yeah, smells play a big part. But then I should go. I know you're not kidding, Sheila. I have Cam. Today would have been my dad's birthday. I've also lost my son, my mom, and last year my dog. Oh my God. I'm very sorry. Your son's very close to you and around you. Jen, all I get is like, I'm here or I'm back. Sounds like a guy. Like likes to joke or something. But that scene in it was the movie Poltergeist, they're here. I'm getting like that. I also get kind of a more, I don't know, either manly presence, manly voice, something like that. He loves scary movies. Okay, that's what he's saying. He says, I could name them all. Travis says that, oh, Kim, Travis says, are you wearing something of his? I know guys don't really wear jewelry, but are you wearing something of his? Okay, so Sheila didn't like that movie. I could sit there and watch Exorcist and have dinner at the same time. It's like, doesn't affect me. But I know what you mean. Yeah. Jennifer saw a vision of a man in the 70s dancing on the beach in yellow and blue speedo on the beach. Then he put his hands in his pants. Not a joke. What does it mean? Who was he? I was not wearing that color speedo, so mine was actually red. So just kidding. I do not know what that dream means, but I think you better get out more, you know, um, do a little shopping, maybe go for walks. It's a pretty good dream. Oh, Kim, you're wearing his ring. Okay, I knew it was jewelry. I knew it was jewelry. He's giving you a bear hug, he says. You're looking at this picture. Okay. There's a lot of people on here. Yeah, I was talking about the victims of in the recent shootings like Texas and other places. It's bad. It's really bad. Um, we need a hardcore effort to increase our security in this country right now. Oh, somebody was just asking about that. No, I didn't actually see the news clip on it, but I briefly heard about it, and then I I just there's some crazy people out there. There are some crazy people. Um, it disturbs me when I see lives taken so early like that. And I will say honestly that there's gonna be a lot of restlessness in their transit, and I feel that anybody from a church, prayers, a constant prayer should be given to those people because I actually feel it will help them out. But it just it's sometimes I can't even focus on that sort of thing for very long because I feel the impact of what happened, you know. I feel people who didn't die right away. I um it is there's a different feeling about being shot by a bullet. And when you do a reading and like our other intuitive here is there's if you're clairaudient, like you said, yeah, sometimes when I'm doing a reading, somebody says, yes, I lost my son recently. Pooh, I heard a shot. Okay. Then I'll wait till they're finished. Was this a gunshot? Something like that. There have been some gunshot cases that are from pretty far range, so I didn't necessarily hear a shot, but I felt the other stuff. It's paralyzing. It's the worst feeling if you're psychic to feel a gunshot. Okay. It is, but I have to detach from it very, very quickly. Like you get that instant sensation. It's like, okay, I have to pull it together because it's we know that illnesses are a terrible way to go, but a gunshot's pretty bad too, you know, really bad. Um, yeah, loud bangs. So spirits that are just my opinion. There's a lot of good mediums out there who probably have different opinions, but my opinion about bad people is they don't go anywhere. They don't become anything. I call them recyclable. It's kind of like they're recycled, they're melted down, made into something else. They don't have a to me, usually, they don't have a strong energy. It's kind of blank, it's gone. Um, on the other hand, it's a little different than somebody who had a lot of troubles here on Earth who is just got troubles, so it's different. Evil person usually kind of dissipate. It's kind of like that movie Ghost, that scene where you saw those little guys like coming around, grabbing you and taking you down below. it's really similar to something like that, you know? And then somebody was asking me the other day who's very, very religious, was brought up religious, church going, this and that. And she was saying to me, she says, I don't like the idea to think that everybody's in limbo. I feel they go to a higher place. I said, yes, they do. I feel that too. But I also feel that we're not in our body anymore. There's still an essence of you that is still in the physical plane here. How can you feel the presence of a grandmother that passed if you live in California and then your sister lives in New York and she feels it too? It's not like grandma gets on Spirit Airlines and goes from the West Coast to the East Coast, but there's still an essence. So I don't see the spirit as just one being, but I see spread out, kind of like time is also not a factor on the other side. It's past, present, future all in one. Um, so we just have to kind of get rid of that singular thing. Yes, we have the soul, but as far as the spirit physical plane can be in many different places, and it can also be gone 1 minute and then come reappear another minute. Have no idea why. Just kind of the way I see it. Um, let's see. Um, yeah, do they have a choice to reincarnate or stay in the spirit world? I don't know. I know we've lived many lives. I don't know if it's a choice. There's the consciousness is so different on the spirit level than it's like it's constantly intuitive on the spirit level. It's not like we sit there like, oh shoot, I think I'm gonna go back. This time I want to come back as a millionaire. There's a good family down there. They need a kid. Um, I don't know if we have a choice. I certainly hope we do. Um, because I would like to come back as a supermodel, and, you know, I'm just kidding. But, but we decide our life path in the physical world like a soul contract. We are what I see is we become on the other side what we were here. And that's why I tell people it is so important that what you are here is kind of what you become there. Don't forget that when you're a spirit, you also lived previous lives before. There's people that you knew before. There's people that you'll know in the future. It's so the multitudes are so huge. I don't even think our thinking could grasp or comprehend what it is like on the other side. That's just the way I see it. Um, but I think we have the potentiality that we will come back here either in a spirit form that influences or guides somebody, or it could be the physical form. So I think there's different forms that you can come back, if that makes sense, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't know if it's do we come back to learn certain lessons? I don't know. I haven't learned mine yet. But yes, I do believe to a certain extent we do learn lessons. Karma. Wow. Um it's kind of like a function of our brain, black and white, right or wrong, um, good or bad. It, we don't really have that on the other side so much. I don't see it as this guilt. I should have done this. I should have, I shouldn't have like ate all of those grapes. It's so different. But the more that I've done mediumship, the less I know about it. But I try, if I can, to get some kind of insight to the other side. And this one spirit came down to me one time. I say come down to me. Spirit was here. I mean, right here. And this spirit said to me, she said, and Todd, I want you to do this. She says that every time you have a moment that is without some kind of complication going on, or where you're feeling just good at that moment, where you don't have a worry, where you where you don't have any obligations, she said, appreciate that moment. And every time you get one of those moments, appreciate it and be happy in that moment. Celebrate that moment, she said, because she says when you get older, it will protect you against many moments that are very hard. And I thought that was pretty cool. I actually I listened to that and it makes sense to me, and I do that even if, um it's just for a brief whatever. She says, just enjoy that and appreciate it. It will influence you psychologically for the harder stuff that's going to be coming. And I thought that was pretty cool. Shelley believes in karma, and I do not believe in coincidence. No, I agree. Um, and Nandini says, I am Hindu, and my dad tells me that our karma is from combined lifetimes together. That's very good. That's exactly what I mean. Um, I have a lot of clients from India, and one of them, I said something one time, and they agreed with me. And I said that we should not hold our loved ones that die back and hold them here and hold them us with us. We need to wish them and to pray for them for a good journey to lands beyond ours. And I remember this person said, yes, she says, this is in our Indian culture. This is, we wish them well in this journey. We don't hold them back. And I thought that was really interesting. Um, oh, I just got that message recently, actually. So, why good people die? He tells me it's a combined karma. Well, karma isn't exactly, I could be mistaken, but perhaps your father has a different understanding of karma, because I've heard that the karma that we talk about, like you've done something bad and you'll get payback for it, is not exactly real karma. The word karma talks about the accumulated life inside your soul. The accumulation of experience in life is your karma. So really karma's like the soul, I guess. Something like that. Um and Brooke says we choose our exit points prior to incarnation. That's interesting. I agree. And Diana says her husband, Dan 62, is keeping something from me. Um, just as an example, I talk to people sometimes who've had near-death experiences, somebody who went through a very traumatic, hospital stay because of something, they almost died. I hear many doctors talk about this, seeing the spirits. The spirits say they were somewhere else at the time of their operation, and then they came back. They saw people, they could name names, that kind of thing. Um, the spirit is still with you in that state. You are not in your physical body. You're sitting there looking at yourself down. I've had a very similar experience to that. Uh, but there's a lot, if you look up near-death experiences, a lot of accounts of talking about the separation of the spirit from the body and amazing stuff. I actually did a talk, I did a speech in front of a group like that, and I thought I'd be really nervous, but they just loved it. I was associating my intuition with the experiences that they had, and these people were affected after the near-death experiences and started having insights of their own. It affected them. But I actually got to get my dog out. She's saying that she wants to go out. Out of body experience. Um, but I don't want to cut you guys off. I know you had questions and all that, but I actually gotta tend to my dog here, and it is late, and I've got readings in the morning. And it was very, very nice to talk to you about your insights. I know some of you people are intuitive. I can feel that. Sometimes I think some of you long-term intuitives who know a lot of stuff. And especially Nandini, I like what your father says. That is very, very interesting. I've known a Hindu person I was friends with. We talked a little bit about that. The that kind of insight is very good insight to follow. I agree with a lot of that. Um, of course, I don't really think about that stuff when I'm doing a reading, you know. Sometimes somebody's weird accent will come through, sometimes their humor will come through. Um, some of these people who passed, I didn't know that they would be using the F word on the other side, but they do. It's just hysterical. And then I'm afraid to tell the client, they're like, oh, yeah, yeah, that's her. That's her. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, some of the stuff, it's like some people feel very detached, in a higher realm, and then some people feel right here, right on the surface, that kind of thing. Um, but every medium, just remember, every medium sees differently, shares different opinions, has different knowledge. Um, and I love to hear about it. I know a couple mediums, and we talk about, stuff that happens. And it's great to put our stories together. Really should be put in a movie or something so people can understand what we see, you know. I think it'd be good. But anyway, so back to my podcast. Enjoy my podcast. Go to my Facebook page if you want to. I'm on there a lot. Yeah, Brooke, that's correct. We all change energies, but just yeah. And then there's also the apparition ones, and and I'm working on like people's homes and stuff, like, visually, and seeing where the entities come from, and some of the weird stuff that happens with ghosts and that kind of thing, and some bodies that are like half a body that appears, and then some that are shadows, and then I that was creeping me out. I think. Oh God, that was one of those June bugs that scared the crap. Anyway, anyway, you all be well. We'll talk soon. I'd love to have a conversation about this. I'm learning all sorts of new stuff from you guys about spirit world. Um, I love when people put some meaning to it. It's kind of like I'm doing a reading, but it's not like there's a meaning to it. We're sort of connecting with somebody, and a lot of times the mediumship, we're finding answers to some kind of mystery, which is kind of, what we do sometimes. Well, I mean, for instance, I was doing one recently about a guy, and they didn't know where he put his will. So, I do readings like that. And let's see, Nandini just got tarot cards. Yeah, I'm not very good at those cards. I've tried them. I'm pretty good at blackjack though. All right. Well, you all have a good night. I've got to run. My dog's looking at me. She's like, let me out, let me out. Take care, and good night for now.